everybody, my name is Johanny Jakit. I'm a Wella brand educator, and I've been working with Wella for about 8 years, while I've been a hairstylist for about 19 years. So today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about porosity and how it affects color. So porosity is going to be the hair's ability to absorb moisture. Hair that is non-porous will not be able to take color well, while hair that is very porous is going to let out color too quickly. So what's the difference between porous hair and non-porous hair? If you could imagine the shingles on a roof as being the cuticle of someone's hair, which is the outside protectant of someone's hair. Someone who has very porous hair has some missing shingles, and their shingles are very open, so it lets a lot of water or rain in. Someone who has non-porous hair is going to have like brand new shingles, so they're very tight and compact. There's no water coming through the roof, right? And then someone who has porous hair has just slight amount of openness, so it allows some moisture to come in, and the house is able to hold on to that moisture. It doesn't let it out very quickly. So non-porous hair is going to be typically like healthy, new grown hair. The hair that is closest to your scalp area is typically going to be the most non-porous of all of your hair. It's hair that hasn't been exposed to that much shampoo or sunlight or color. It cannot hold on to pigment or oils very easily. So the way that you can kind of open up that hair is to clarify it or to treat it with steam. Of course, with hair directly at the scalp area, if you're doing someone's permanent hair color, you probably didn't want to do this in the same day. Maybe have the client come in the day before or 2 days before to allow their scalp to like repair itself before, if you're going to be doing clarifying treatment. Then you have porous hair, which this is hair that's been exposed to some color, some sunlight, brushing. This is hair that's able to hold on to pigment and water. And it does, however, need to be sealed afterwards. So with Wella, you're able to seal the hair using post-service. We have post-service that takes 5 minutes to seal the hair, and we also have Color Motion Plus post-service that takes 30 seconds to seal the hair after hair color. And then we have very porous hair. In this situation, the cuticle is so wide open and in some areas missing in parts that the cortex, because the cuticle is made to protect the cortex of the hair, the cortex is weakened. So because the cortex is weakened, the hair is going to be frizzy, the hair is going to feel very weak, it can snap easily when you're brushing or detangling, and it lets out pigment and water very, very easily because it doesn't have anything that's going to help retain it. The only way for you to repair this is to either cut it or cut it. So you can treat it, you can do conditioning treatments that will treat like a certain portion of the hair strand, but typically the ends are going to be the most porous hair, so more than likely you're going to have to take off a nice amount to kind of balance out the porosity of the hair and overall health of the hair. So let's talk a little bit about the porosity of the hair along a hair strand. I've talked about this a little bit before, but as hair gets older, it becomes more porous because it's been through more shampoos, color, blow dry, sun exposure, brushing, combing, etc. So if you're looking at a particular hair strand, hair that's closest to the scalp area is going to be the least porous of the hair. Hair in the mid-strand is typically more porous than the scalp area, and then hair on the ends are going to be the most porous of them all. So this is something that we need to consider for color, because when you're, let's say, glossing someone or even putting like a semi-permanent color on someone, if their ends are far more porous than their scalp area, their ends can look darker than their scalp area, which will give them an imbalanced appearance. There are 2 ways, or I'm sure more than 2 ways, but there are 2 ways that I like to do porosity tests. So there's a stretch test, which you would collect a couple of strands of wet hair and a ruler, and you're going to stretch the wet hair very carefully and slowly. And non-porous hair that stretches 30 to 50% and springs back is going to be non-porous hair. Hair that stretches to 30 and 50% but does not return back to its original shape is going to be porous hair, which is the easiest hair to color. And then hair that breaks when you stretch it more than 30% of its length is going to be very porous hair. So we have to be careful of that, because this is the hair that we definitely don't want to use permanent color on, or lightener on. Then we have the float test, where you can pull a strand of clean, dry hair in a glass of 8-ounce water. Non-porous hair is going to float on top of the hair and not budge at all, while hair that is porous is going to take a little bit of time but eventually sink to the bottom. And very porous hair is going to drop to the bottom very, very quickly. So again, the very porous hair is the type of hair that you want to steer away from using permanent color or lightener on until you have done multiple treatments and a haircut. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm going to have more that just go over little snippets of tips and tricks when it comes to hair color and how to treat the hair. So I hope you enjoyed my video. Have a good one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll have more of little snippets of color theory along the way. I hope this helps you with your color process, and look out for more. Thanks.